This week on One Day Leader, our leaders ask the question, is it time for electoral reform in South Africa? Join us for another thought-provoking episode of One Day Leader Season 6. Welcome to One Day Leader, the show that confronts pressing issues of the day through debate-driven challenges. Mina ngingupho wakashongwe umdimanzi bambolunye mageza ngelbisi emandi atleti. Now tonight we will be talking about the country's electoral system and whether or not it needs reform. But firstly, let me get you the news that you've been so desperately waiting for. How did you, the viewers, score our leaders in last week's episode? Well, let's take a look at the results.
This week's viewer scoreboard sees leader 6 Zongezile leading the pack again this week with 566 viewer votes, and leader 2 as the last person on the list with 32 votes. Now this means that leader 6 gets 1 point. Congratulations! Now let's take a look at our series scoreboard. Leading the pack with 5 points each is leader 6 Zongezile and leader 4 Bigisisa. Banna Huim.
Mzansi, thank you so much for your ongoing participation. Nikhumbula ukuthi nani lapha emakhaya, your votes certainly do count. Ingakho ke namhlanje sinbuza Mzansi ukuthi, should we reform our electoral system to allow South Africans to vote for individuals rather than political parties? That's what we are asking you. We would like to hear. What are your thoughts about increasing electoral participation for South African voters? Of course, you at home can join the conversation and even share your very own experiences by visiting our Facebook page, One Day Leader SA, to share your thoughts on our topic. Also, do visit our Twitter page at One Day Leader and hashtag One Day Leader 6. It's time for us to hear our leaders' vision statements.
South Africa needs a revolution in the quality of her leadership. As a rising leader of South Africa, I am determined to contribute to the creation of a disciplined leadership culture. Let's get to the business of the day today, of leading with integrity and discipline. If we can lead ourselves well, we can lead a nation even better.
Leader 2.
I declare South Africa and Africa at large that strives for economic emancipation through the development of our local economies and industrialization. That is possible. Hashtag Redeem Africa.
Leader 3, welcome.
I am Womandla, armored in hope and faith, marching towards the realization of the dreams of African women. Striving for South Africa, where young people are no longer bound by the chains of generational poverty and illiteracy. I see a nation that pursues and accomplishes indigenous prestige, and by that, I welcome you to the unchanged generation.
Leader 4, it's your turn.
I believe in a South Africa where the means of production benefit the poor, property ownership is not in favor of the minority. Indeed, a South Africa where we don't see color, but we see humanity. We are the future and nothing can stop us.
Welcome, Leader 5.
My grandmother tells me of a South Africa where umuntu was umuntu ngabantu, where it was kindness and not political affiliation that ruled the land. It begins and ends with us. Mayibuye i-Afrika.
Leader 6, it's your turn.
I envision a leader that will empower a child from a rural area in a township to lead, give a nation access to the land and quality education for the economy to live. Hashtag we are chancing for change.
Well, Mzansi, these are your leaders. They are young, they are bright, and they're ready to move our country forward. If you spot any potential among our leaders and you would like to hire them or make them a part of your big campaign, do not be afraid to contact us. The email address is on your screen. You can get in touch with the future of South Africa. Before we move on, let's see how you can vote for your favorite leader for today's show. To vote for Kukule, to SMS 1 to 32672. To vote for Pilasande, SMS Leader 2. For Buhlegonke, SMS Leader 3. For Bekisisa, SMS Leader 4. For Sibonisile, SMS Leader 5. And for Zongezile, SMS Leader 6. Remember, your votes at home do count. Ngakho-ke qhubekani ngokuvotela umholi wena nimthanda kakhulu. Now on to our guest judge. He is the host of Power Perspective on Power FM and Frankly Speaking on SABC3. He's highly regarded for his critical analysis and socio-political commentary about current affairs issues of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Onkgopote JJ Tabane. JJ, thank you so much for making the time to be with us this evening on One Day Leader. Now, does South Africa need to explore other avenues to encourage voter participation? Do we really need this election reform?
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at the way that our leaders have begun to take us for granted, it's clear that the current system is not working because they really don't have to listen to you. All they have to listen to is their headquarters. Whatever is your needs or aspirations come second. But if your aspirations came first, they would listen better. So maybe it's time that we make sure we're not saddled with a Jacob Zuma again, ever. But somebody we can choose ourselves and not have someone imposed on us by political parties. It's time we do that to increase the levels of accountability of our leaders.
Thank you very much. Show our guest judge. Of course, let's not forget our resident judges. They are Catherine Constantinides, an environmentalist, entrepreneur, social activist, and businesswoman. Welcome. And of course, Tebogo Ditsejo, entrepreneur, founder of Ditsejo Media, public relations guru, and founder of Reader Book SA. Let's give them a warm welcome. Now, let's see how today's task relates to this matter. Good day, leaders. So today we'll be testing your leadership skills in a whole different way. Our theme is electoral reform. Leaders, today your task will be twofold. First, you'll be teaming up with a South African comedian who will be debating on your behalf. Secondly, you will meet Prince Mashele from the Center for Politics and Research. He'll be giving you the ins and outs of our current electoral system. Leaders, before I let you go, in front of you, there's 6 envelopes. Each of you will select an envelope which carries the name of the comedian who will be debating on your behalf. Pilasand, start with you.
Since we got to choose comedians to represent us, my personal favorite would have been Loyiso Gola, mainly due to the fact that it's from Cape Town, so we're homeboys. Let's see what you got here. Deep fried man. Never heard of him. I don't know him. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, who is he? Yeah, so tell me, have you debated before?
I was actually in high school, I was on the debating team.
All right. This is what's going to happen. This is what I was planning. I would like you to show 80% of Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah, 80% of Daniel. And also...
You want me to take my clothes off? Except my underwear. That's 80% of Daniel.
Wait.
What kind of show is this?
Yeah, all right. Just don't do that, all right?
Sorry.
Yeah, I think he's got all the ingredients I needed in a winning comedian.
For the episode lena bengifisa ukuthi i-comedian engasebenza nayo kube uSkumba. uSkumba ngiyamazi, uSkumba uyang-entertainer. Isaac Gampu, ngiyamazi, not personally, but I've heard of him.
Mapekani? Sure. Uthi nenzani lapho yami?
I one day leader.
One day leader?
Yeah, ngiyadebate.
Mayiso wina ini lapho?
I-point.
You had to prove a point.
You win a point.
Win a point?
Yeah, you win a point, which is very important. Ungangidlisi vile.
No, I cut you. Now in Kalakati. Sizoyithatha that end.
I was looking forward to be represented by Kagiso Lediga. J Boogie. I'm not familiar with him, so
What do you personally think about the electoral system in South Africa at the moment? Do you think it needs to be changed?
I'm not sure, actually. That's why we have to do a lot of research on this.
So with your very animated character, I'm hoping that you'll be able to captivate the studio audience. And I want as much of your personality in there as possible.
Are you sure?
Well...
Are you
Okay.
I want Skumba. I got Ulebogang Tohana. I know her from the YouTube videos. Ulebogang,
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great. She can cook because she's a funny chef, and I love food. I love cooking, so that's exciting. When you're voting, are you voting for a person or just an organization? What's in your head?
I think I vote for a party. So what's the point of me saying, okay, I'm just going to vote for one person, let's see what happens. You know, same thing, I just sorry, I just had to.
I would go for Chester the Puppet because he's very well informed when it comes to current affairs. All right, so I have Nina Hasty, or is it Hasty?
Did you make your bed?
Yes, I did.
Like, I'm just checking. I just came to see if the house is clean.
Everything is proper, yeah.
That's
really
good.
Proper.
Okay,
really,
good.
Really nice to meet
Are you excited?
Very excited.
Okay.
There's a criteria that they're going to use to judge us. I don't think they expect you to be professional and all of that.
Okay. To the point, entertaining, funny, and we've got to win them over.
100.
I think we can do this.
We can do this.
High five. Cool.
The comedian I'm hoping to be represented by is Trevor Noah.
Tumi, stop nonsense. Jemima, I don't know who this is. Obviously, I dreamt a little too far.
Sama le sister omo busibutsana ka re lipsere de ka re stop sign wa kwa arena ke sbo a kitsore ke sbo tho ke sbo shwa.
I don't know how we're going to debate. Uzo debate kanjani une energy ngani.
Ah, that's the reason. It goes also with the energy.
Yeah.
So I need to imagine when I stress out the point. I want all the energy.
Yeah.
It's different when I say water is a scarcity in Cape Town. Then I say it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need that energy.
Yeah.
Gong.
He's very funny. That's there, even though the entire time he was just making fun of me. So would it be better if we're voting for an individual or if we're voting for a party?
In a country like ours, don't you think, like honestly, don't you think having political parties sort of like gives order instead of just voting for an individual? Because now you have comedians that have more followers than presidents. You've got celebrities that might just campaign and then abambe. Imagine if Zoto was to be our president, then what would the country be? You know what I'm saying?
For this task, there is no leader. You'll all be going your separate ways. So take responsibility and make sure that whoever you have selected will best represent you from the training that they would have received from you. Leaders, slay. Welcome back to One Day Leader, South Africa's #1 show on grooming leadership talent to confront the challenges facing our modern day society. Mzansi, today's topic is, should we reform our electoral system to allow South Africans to vote for individuals rather than political parties? Before the break, our leaders chose their favorite comedians to represent them on today's debate. The next part of their task was much more academic. Let's see what our leaders had to uncover.
And Dr. Princey, we have been given a task that we need your assistance on, to research on whether if we use the system of voting for an individual, will that increase the number of participants, the number of voters in our country or not?
In the first place, when we moved from apartheid to democracy, during the negotiations that brought about democracy in South Africa, the question was, how do we create a system, a political system that will include all the various groups that constitute the South African population? In other words, all the groups must be represented in parliament. The problem with this system is this. The people who are powerful in our politics are not ordinary voters, are party bosses. That system is problematic because it empowers party bosses and it disempowers the voter. So the voter has no say as to who goes to parliament to represent the ANC. When that decision is made, the voter is not there. It's only party bosses. So that's the problem of our electoral system.
So is it really an electoral problem or an organizational problem in politics, or in the politics of South Africa?
It is an electoral problem, and I'll explain to you how so. Take the EFF and the ANC. There is a criminal on the list of the EFF. There are 10 saints and there are 2 criminals. But you cannot bring yourself to voting for these 2 criminals who are on the list, right? That's the EFF. The ANC has a priest on its list, and I am an atheist. I don't believe in religion. How do you get out of that corner? In the current system, you wouldn't get out of that corner. Why? Because you have no choice. You have a package. The ANC comes to you as a package. But if you had a constituency-based system where you vote for an individual, the ANC would say, all of these individuals are our candidate parliamentarians. And then you would go to the polls and say, I will vote this individual from the ANC because I like him or her, and take that one from the EFF because I like him or her. So it could be that in the end, if you were given 10-10, you took 3 from the ANC and you took 7 from the EFF. So it is a problem of the system.
Please comment on the electoral reform that took place from apartheid South Africa to contemporary South Africa.
Well, during apartheid, as you know, they had a constituency-based system. So voters voted directly for their parliamentarian. So the country was divided into constituencies. So you would have a guy who says, I want to represent Pretoria. And then the citizens, the residents of Pretoria vote directly from that guy. And that guy goes straight to Cape Town to parliament. But here is the thing. It only applied to white people. The reason why the white people at the time allowed a system like that, it is because they knew black people didn't vote. If black people voted and you had a system like that, almost all white people would not be represented in parliament because black people are in majority. It's a good question you are asking because it talks to the current discussion about the need to reform our electoral system.
What's happening, everybody? It's your girl Julia, aka Chimama, the #1 gossip diva, one-day leader. I'm going in now and they better be prepared for war. W-O, war.
I'm feeling great about debating for the leaders, yeah.
Of course I'm ready. Actually, no, I'm not ready. I don't know.
When J Boogie didn't turn up for the debate, I was extremely worried. I was having so many thoughts running through my head. So when Kagiso finally came, I was still panicking because I had very little time to talk to him and brief him about the subject.
Yo, man, I'm so ready. I'm 110% ready. My middle name is Debate.
Welcome back to One Day Leader. Thank you so much, Ngokuhlala Nanti. I am your host, Upel Shongwe. Nina Makaya, remember that Ningabenglangi yohlelo lwethu by visiting our Facebook page, One Day Leader SA, to share your comments on our topic. Also, check out our Twitter page at One Day Leader and hashtag One Day Leader 6. Now, we're about to find out from our judges how our leaders performed in today's task. So, judges, Tebogo, coming to you specifically to give us your comments on how our contestants performed on the task and what the verdict is.
Well, we think that the contestants performed pretty well. I think the idea of bringing comedians to discuss this very important issue around electoral voting systems was very important because we're moving into the space of political satire. And as we know that comedians don't mince their words, and perhaps we could get some very interesting ideas from that. So based on that, we're going to award them with 1 point each.
Thank you very much, Deboho. Now let's give a warm welcome to Kagiso Lediga, standing in for Leader 1, Gugu Manyati. Standing in for Leader 2, Pilasande, is Daniel Friedman. Standing in for Leader number 3, Ugushegonke, is Lebogang, the funny chef, Tlokana. Standing in for Leader 4, Begi Sisa, is Isaac Gambu. Here for Leader number 5, Sibonisile, is Tumi Stop Nonsense. And lastly, for Leader 6 is Zongezile. Standing in for Zongezile, rather, is Nina Hasty. Well, Catherine, these are other comedians standing in for our leaders today. Any comments or words of advice to them?
I'm not sure about words of advice, but I think that this is really an interesting platform and opportunity. But what you do on that side of the podium really is going to reflect on the young leaders. And so this is really an important opportunity for them to gain votes and from the audience and to get points on this episode. So a lot rests on you, and we're not going to go easy on you as judges. So we're really interested to see what you come up with and how you debate. So this is going to be interesting.
Thank you very much to you, Catherine. Our debate topic for today is, should we change our electoral system to allow South Africans to vote for individuals rather than political parties? Let's have a look at the rules of engagement. These are the rules for the one-day leader debate. You have 30 seconds to state your vision statement, 60 seconds for the opponent to challenge, and 30 seconds to conclude your debate. Now, our first debate is between Deep Fried Man and Isaac Gampu. Catherine, won't you please tell us who is for and who is against on this debate?
Isaac will be for and Daniel will be against.
All right, thank you very much. Your 30 seconds starts now, Leader 2.
Changing South Africa's electoral system is not the answer, ladies and gentlemen. You might think that putting an individual, getting South Africans to vote for an individual rather than a party would help our democratic system. But that is a superficial change. If you look at America, 2 words: Donald Trump. They elected that guy on purpose, and they elected the person and not the party. That proves that that is not enough to change our electoral system. Second of all, there is a cult of personality which goes on in South Africa.
Thank you very much. Your time is up. You have 60 seconds to engage.
Do I start? Does he start?
Engage each other on the topic. Time is ticking.
Okay, so in other words, Isaac, what I'm saying is there's a cult of personality in South Africa and all around the world. We seem to think that if we remove Jacob Zuma, our problems will be solved. The same way that they thought in Zimbabwe that removing Robert Mugabe would be an instant solution to all of their problems. This is not the case. The solution is for people to engage with their political parties and to know what the policies are.
Isaac, feel free to engage.
We are a country that said Amanda awethu before we got into democracy. Now, when we said awethu, that means it's ours. There's no way we can entrust one guy with power. Power is not individual. Too much power is corrupting personally. That is why we need someone who consults, someone who is advised, because without counseling, with lack of counseling, people perish, and that's it. This is not a monarchy. One guy cannot rule, but guys in unit can rule.
But I'm not saying that one guy should rule. What I'm saying is that for there to be a party elected...
Thank you very much. You have the remaining 30 seconds.
Is short. I have a
Your time is ticking.
Okay, in conclusion, I'm not saying that there should only be one person like a dictatorship in charge. What I'm saying is that we need to hold our political parties to account and make sure that they have control over their leader who they elect. To just superficially change that system so that you are electing an individual instead of a party would lead to a popularity contest similar to what's going on in America, where people are elected not because of their policies, but because they were an ex-reality star who happens to speak what's on his mind. That's what led to Donald Trump.
All right, Leader 4, you have 30 seconds.
Yes, it is good what he's saying. The truth is that too much power personally is corrupting. And we cannot take this country and turn it into a constitutional monarchy. Money doesn't make anyone powerful, but character, consulting, and wisdom, those are things we need, and it's things that money cannot buy. We cannot look at anyone's pocket and think they can run this country and we can hide behind their pockets.
All right, leaders, you have 60 seconds to engage.
Okay.
We could.
Yes, okay. So what I'm saying is, how do you feel that changing the electoral system so that instead of voting for a party, you're voting for an individual, how do you think that will change the fact that most South Africans feel they don't have a plausible opposition, they don't have an alternative to the ANC? You'll have a situation where if you're voting for an individual, you will vote for whichever individual leads the ANC, because South Africans still won't feel that they have an opposition which represents them. What would you say to that?
I mean, a person being in charge, that's primitive. Our forefathers had indunas, they had kings, all the other religions, they had the imams and the rabbis because they wanted to think, someone to think on their behalf. We are modernized now. We cannot have anyone deciding, but we want someone suggesting. That's how we are. The system must not be changed. It's better to have a collective or a conglomerate running the country. That's the only way forward.
Okay, but so what you're asking for is not really to change the electoral system so that you're electing an individual. You're asking for there to be a collective that instead answers to Parliament.
Leader 4, you have the remaining 30 seconds. Your 30 seconds starts now.
You are agreeing with me? Exactly, just on a different point of view. And thank you for having a vote of confidence in my ideas. Exactly what I wanted to say. We can no longer have anyone running the country, but we have people. Companies are run by a board of directors, not one director. In a relationship, if one guy rules, that's despotism. That's why it's equality. We need people on the same ground, and that's it. Thank you for being here.
Oh, Mzansi, we certainly cannot help but laugh after that first debate. Quite a weird one, but Tebogo, let me come to you. Wipe your tears. What were your thoughts on that debate?
You know, Isaac,
yes.
You totally confused the debate topic. You were actually supposed to debate. You're supposed to debate against the current system, and he was supposed to be for the current system. So what you did, he was trying to make sense of what you were saying, but he ended up putting lipstick on a pig. So, unfortunately, you made good points. You made very good points. So you spoke about how our indigenous knowledge systems worked, but I think you mixed up the debate topic. So on this one, deep fried man, you won. Thank you.
All right. Where we need to find Pila Sande somewhere in the audience. You need to give us a feedback. How do you think? Were you impressed? I mean, he just won the debate, but what do you think?
He was immaculate. My guy, thank you so much. We spoke about it. You listened. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's it.
Pegisisa, feedback for your comedian this evening.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that it just happened. They made you against. But what we prepared, what I told you, you were able to execute the plan. I'm happy, no matter what the results, I'm happy.
All right, happiness all round. Mzansi, on that note, let's take a quick break, but do stay with us. Welcome back to One Day Leader Season 6 here on SABC Wanika Malamingungu Pearl Shongwe. Today we are having a special round of debates where our leaders are being represented by comedians. Our next debate will be between Kagiso, Leader 1, and Lebo, Leader 3. Before we get to that second debate, Catherine, who will be for and who will be against?
Kagiso, you will be for. Lebogang, you will be against.
All right, with that said, it's ladies first. Lebogang, your time starts now.
I go by different personalities. So vandaag my naam is Lazaal. Luister gou hierso julle, ons change niks nie, hoor? Want if we go according to a individual, you guys will go and vote for babes will do more. If not, babes will do more. Zoto abantu. It's unnecessary. So ek sê net vir jou, Boeta, kyk hier so asseblief. Hallo. Ons stem saam, hoor jy? Ons stem almal stem saam. Almal hierso. Julle kyk vir my want ek is 'n boer vandag. Is reg. Ons stem saam. Ek is klaar.
All right, you have 60 seconds to challenge the topic.
No, Chief, I disagree.
Ek het mos geweet ANC kom in die party. Ek het geweet. Praat.
Not -1 point for interjection at the wrong time. Listen, Chief, you can't come here with your and think you are making valid points. Here, we have tried this thing of parties. This is why people get captured. Because you think there's a president and then there's a bunch of people underneath the president making the decisions. Chief, I'm here to tell you now, we need to start voting wisely and we need to start making different choices. We need to find proper individuals. I'm not talking about just one person. I'm talking about a number of people that we can get up there, not a political party who will front with a black face and then when it comes time for them to rule, there's a white person in charge. I'm not talking about such antics, Chief. I'm talking about real things. We need to find the right person, the right group of people to be up there and take us to the promised land, Chief.
Sepu, you are prating about my DA. Prajay were my DA.
Minus 2 points. Again, my 10 seconds not done. Interjection.
All right, you have 30 seconds remaining to close the topic.
Close the topic.
Oh, ladies first.
Oh, okay.
So getting back to my actual personality.
Okay.
Having to have you vote for an individual, you don't know who comes with, behind. You can't vote for an individual you don't know. Like I said, it will be a popularity contest. So any celebrity can come and tell you what they want to tell you and you'd believe in it and you'd vote. You don't know the system behind everything. You don't know the group. But if I vote for a party, I know, sorry, no, could you please pay? Yes, if I vote for a party, I know who I'm voting for. I already know the devils I'm dealing with. Did I make a point, y'all?
Nope.
Just go.
You missed your point.
All right, your time is up. Okay, Tabi, so you have 30 seconds.
I understand your point of view, Chief. And I'm not arguing your point of view. I'm arguing the logic behind what we have seen failing already. First of all, let's not even go further. If you can explain to me these things, maybe I can understand your side of things. If you can tell me who proposes such systems, such systems of voting for the country's president through having a political party, who's responsible for ensuring that these systems are still done in the correct manner?
Your time is up. Your 60 seconds starts now. Feel free to challenge him.
Can I like Google? Like, why are you asking me? I'm just a comedian. There's Google. You're asking me like, where am I? Wait, no, I'm engaging. This is the 60 seconds they're talking about.
Now, this is
who would you vote for? Okay, let me give you one example of a man who ran a country alone, and it went down to this is Zimbabwe now. Are you telling me you want to place the same system in South Africa? Who? Julius Malem.
I'm not talking about having a dictator. I'm talking about having a leader. I'm talking, if you remember correctly, the children of Egypt needed a Moses. They were under the leadership of Pharaoh and whatever party Pharaoh was under.
The Bible?
I'm talking about parting the Red Sea.
Is this the Bible?
I'm talking about burning bushes.
Where are you going to find Jesus?
I'm talking about Moses.
Where are you finding Jesus?
And his
it's
staff,
irrelevant. Like, go back to your normal self. You
we
can't
need a
bring
leader.
Religion into politics. Come on.
This is where we're going wrong.
This is 2018, come on.
This is where we are going wrong.
No, you don't want to engage. You're bringing up, but like, yeah. Like,
Tabi, so you have the remaining 30 seconds.
All in all I'm saying is we need to get the right individuals up there. Not because people are going to be there because they are part of a party that was elected. Now you have Smongseni from Extension 7 who's bound to be president just because he's part of... No, get rid of this whole political parties. Let's find the right people. Even if we can have a group of 48 people who keep rotating just differently and it will come right, comrade. It will come right.
This is the tavern.
Very, very quickly, let me go to Gugule. Do you think you were well represented here?
I think you represented me very well. I'm very proud of what you've been able to come up with in a very short space of time. I really appreciate all your hard work. Well done.
All right. Quickly, your view.
Thank you so much, Lebu. I'm very proud. Like, confidence was there. We have different views as South Africans, and it ought to come out in our debates and our engagements. So moving forward, we ought to have conversations as a nation. Thank you.
Catherine, certainly an entertaining debate. Do you think our leaders here on the podium have represented their leaders as well as they could have?
Look, I think this was definitely interesting. I would have loved to have been able to see a lot more engagement on the topic with the leader and the comedian, because I would have liked to have seen what those dynamics look like. But I think that on this specific debate, Leader 1 takes it for us only because you came through with very practical ideas, and you really said, this is what we've had, this has not worked, this is what we need to try. If one agrees with you or not on the religious perspectives brought in, that's a different story, but for this debate, you take it.
Leader 5, you had 30 seconds.
Thank you. Since, well, this is a democratic country, and it's not my fault right now, since well, it's a democratic country, you are not on to utsebe maleme aruna. So, o votela motho a le mongwe ke bona hantle hore ke ntwe ka re sebeletsang hantle. Into ga sebenzela kahle ngoba na kusezamile ukuvotela ama political party mara kugcina sekwenzuka inhlando eka baba instead of the whole nation.
Very interesting. You have 60 seconds to engage.
Okay, so how exactly do you see this moving forward?
Hobane ha rona re tseba o kgetha motho rona re matlang ankere ho tla kaka hore bothata ha boyo hara party ke rona hobane ha ile a hara party ke batho ba bangata re lata entato wa rona ba re jetsa hore he ke mamang re ya go over jetsa hore he ke mamang jana re tseba hore rona re kgethile mang re tla lata yena straight ra mmotsa hela why Cape Town is namits.
Okay, but that doesn't really answer the question as to, from a structural perspective, how that really benefits the whole people.
Mamela, a ke re jwale re na le kgetho hodima party e seng moetapele.
Yeah.
Jwale rona re ka nne ra kgetha party because re le loyal a ke ra tseba hore ANC re nkile go kae ya re beya go kae. Jwale re loyal ho yona mara yona e be nka qeto re e batla mang a tlo retela pele.
But what if that person doesn't represent the ideas of the majority of the people?
Then simple ra montsha mo re kenya o mongwe re matlang.
Stop nonsense, you have 30 seconds to close.
So, ka o qetella ke batla re nkutlwisise ka Sotho se paqameng ausi le goa ke re he ha rona re tlo kgetha motho o re matlang o tla kgona go mamela ditlhoko le ntho tse re di hloka as batho ba South Africa o understand jwale ha ana influence e tswang political party e tla monkang e montshe torong ya rona o utlwa re che.
Thank you very much. While the tables are turned, Nina Hasty, your opening 30 second starts now.
Thank you very much, Sasafias. All right, so I would just like to highlight the fact that an individual electoral process or presidential process has been ineffective in 3 African countries, because I feel, we talk about America, but that's a first world country. We are, in fact, in a third world country, even though there are pockets of first world infrastructure in this place, or a constitutional higgy-hugger, a crinkum-crunkum. And what I really just feel is I'd like to just talk about Kenya, Gabon, and Ivory Coast.
You have 60 seconds to engage.
Okay, is this the button that I pressed to make you stop talking? All right, so
Listen,
in Kenya,
wait.
all right, no.
You're already having the
I'm aware
privilege
that we have
according to your skin
representation
color.
in this
So
space,
you
but I
can't
do
have
feel that your
advantage.
representation is problematic because what we do, in fact, lack in politics are black women, specifically within the NEC. Yeah, in the situation with the ANC top 6, we only have 1 black woman that is representing an entire country's worth of we are 50% of the population. So I'm aware of the fact that your representation is appropriate in the space, but I don't know how appropriate. Anyway, let's get back to the point at hand. Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, right? Are both presidents at the same time.
You want to deal with the matter here in South Africa?
Okay, so you want to talk
about Kenya. Tell me about how we're going to solve it here in South Africa.
All right, this is exactly the problem that we have. All right, so in Gabon, we have President Ali Bongo and John Ping, who are both...
Nina Hasty, you have 30 seconds to close your argument.
Essentially what I'm trying to say is we can't walk around in African countries where people have put themselves as presidents of their country on Twitter. Now people don't really know who the president of that country is unless they're verified, in which case, who still holds the budget? You know, so people are just electing themselves as president. They're ruling people with no particular infrastructure or finance or support. It's irresponsible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that is how we close our final debate for this evening. I'll go to JJ for this one. Won't you please quickly give us your comment on how that you thought that debate went and the verdict as well?
Yeah, I think that the idea about that this thing hasn't worked in other countries was a good starting point, but you did not give me a good reason why I must think they haven't. Secondly, by the way, all of those you've mentioned are linked to political parties, although they stood as individuals. So, you know, you could say maybe you need a hybrid model. You are great. I don't know whether you're trying to exclude her language-wise, but that's fine. You won the debate. I like your ideas that says it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work
this is still sexual
with an individual after we've voted them, right? There's the whole point is to hold them accountable easier, so that they don't think that they must ignore the public and just listen to a political party. So you got it. Refine your argument a bit, and maybe you could have a tie next time.
All right, congratulations, Leader 5. Let's now find Leader 5 and 6. Sponisile, what do you think of how Sponono represented you?
I really liked the points that you made. I think aside from being funny, it's important that we get the points behind. And his point was that it hasn't been working and we need to do something, you know, that's a change and so on. And I really like that you brought the topic across and you made it impactful. And we are in a democratic country, so you can speak in whatever language you want to. Thank you so much for representing me so well.
All right, Leader 6, how do you think Nina Hasty did on your behalf?
Wow, Nina, I was very impressed that you were able to hear what he was saying, even though that was not your language. Because when you responded to the questions, they were very relevant. And you also had the content. It's just that maybe some words, you missed some words there and there, but I'm very proud that competing against somebody who speaks a language that you're not really familiar with, you were able to respond. And that on its own, that's a win for me. Thank you very much.
So I'm familiar with English.
Yes.
Am I familiar
Well,
with
big
English?
thank you to our guest debaters, and those were our final round of debates. Now, for you at home, the voting lines are officially open. Ngakho-ke voto votela umholi omthanda kakhulu ngo-SMS igama elithi leader nenamba yabo 232672. Your votes will, of course, be revealed at the top of next week's episode. Well done to our guest debaters. Masibuye idolo, we find out how our studio audience voted for their favorite debater. Welcome back to One Day Leader. Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, I'm about to reveal what the judges had to say and which comedian our audience voted for as their favorite guest debater. Very briefly, what would you like to say?
I would just like to say, guys, I know you guys are honored to be in my presence. And then I just keep working, guys. I like your ideas. I'm close with people in parliament, and I'll definitely move them along. And maybe, just maybe, we'll put them into consideration. And maybe we can have you guys in parliament next time.
All right, thank you very much. Leader 2, your parting words?
I would just like to say that this has been fun. I think that it is a common mistake to make that all comedians have inside their head is jokes and jokes and jokes. And I thought that it was a good idea to actually apply my mind to the topic at hand and actually engage with it. And I've enjoyed doing so. My only hope would be that next time we would get to actually continue the debate, have a little bit more meat in it, because 1 minute and 30 seconds is not enough time. I think we were only getting started, and hopefully we can do this again.
All right, thank you very much. Levo, your parting words?
Ek wil net dankie sê vir ek weet nie wat nie, want ek weet niks nie.
Okay,
want ons het nie water nie. Ek bedoel in die
Okay, Mariki, baie dankie. Leader 4, your parting words?
First time we do open sports, then you're right. 30 seconds open sports, but communication is everything. had everything been well communicated, the messages will be sent properly to the masses. Thank you.
All right, Leader 5, we're not one day leader once your parting words.
Okay, I'll just give a point to my fellow comrades that they said briefly. So abantu abangajoyinanga TV bazothatha isikhathi. So next.
All right, Nina Hasty, your parting words.
I thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and be in a different role, for want of a better word. And I just want to say, JJ, just because I'm not dancing and singing and does not mean that what I was doing was not satire. And I think if you listen very carefully to some of the things that I was mentioning, I was talking about Batabile Dlamini. I mentioned a little Sasa Fierce there, here and there. Yeah, you didn't hear what I was saying. That's why you've got to be very quick to listen to the jokes that I make. Thanks.
All right, I will not keep you waiting any longer. The audience vote for today. Drum roll. Goes to you, Sasa Fierce. Stop nonsense. Well, a big thank you to our audience for voting and, of course, our judges. Let's now have a look at the final scoreboard.
Now leading the pack by end of this episode is leader 5, 6 and 4 with 6 points, followed closely by leaders 1 and 2 with 5 points. It's certainly tight as we get closer to elimination round.
Well, to the viewers at home, remember, we'll be showing your voting results in Gevigelandelayo. Voting does close at 1 p.m. this coming Monday. Gevigelandelayo, you will get to see our scoreboard so far. Thanks to everyone who joined us today, our candidates, our judges, our audience, and you at home for joining us on this episode. Not forgetting our fabulous comedians. To JJ Tawane, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here on One Day Leader. We greatly appreciate it. Our closing words for today are by Samora Machel, the late president of Mozambique. The state must be the first to be organized and totally committed to serving the interests of the people. From myself, Upil Shongwe, Umtimanze, Ubambo Lunyimageza Ngolbise Mantahleti, and the rest of the One Day Leader team. Lishonile Nine Bagalazize. Good night.